95% of YouTube users never start a YouTube channel, and there might be many reasons why this is the case, but I'm guessing the main reason is a fear of failure. Today I'll talk about the fear of starting YouTube, common concerns that have stopped myself and I'm sure many other creators from starting YouTube, and I'll also share some tips for building confidence as well. Fear is a very normal part of starting YouTube. Many people are concerned with not getting enough views or subscribers, or also the judgment and criticism that comes with putting a vulnerable part of ourselves on the internet. The mindset that helped me get over that fear was knowing realistically that my first few videos were going to be bad in terms of production quality, editing, maybe filming quality as well. So really I was okay with no one seeing my videos, because then that would give me the space to experiment and figure out what was my style. I could make my videos better little by little, and I wasn't necessarily concerned about the negative comments or criticism as much as the judgment I might get from people who knew me. I think for YouTube it was easier for me because no one really knew who I was on this platform, but that's definitely something I'm trying to get over for other social media channels. But on the other hand, if you do grow quickly and you do grow an audience, wouldn't that make you feel better knowing that your editing style, whatever you're doing, is good enough to get people's time and attention to watch your videos? The way I see it, either way, it's not a bad situation, because one gives you the time and space to experiment and figure out what your YouTube style is, while the other gives you the knowledge that whatever you're doing right now is resonating with people and is drawing people in to your channel. We might be concerned with what people think about our content or our style or even our ideas. I think this judgment is a little bit scarier coming from people who do know us. But I think if we've always been interested in talking about a specific topic or sharing a more creative side of us, but we haven't because we've been scared of judgment, this can help us weed out people who don't accept us for who we are. Granted, having this mindset is much easier said than done, but on the flip side, it draws in people who might have similar interests as us, or it helps us connect with people who might be on the same path as us as well. People often worry that they're not qualified to talk about a certain topic, or they don't have enough expertise or experience. And this is certainly something that I'm still working through. I certainly don't know everything, but I do know that for the topics for which I have firsthand experience on, or the topics for which I've done a lot of research about, I can definitely share what I know, especially for the people who are beginners or the people who are a few steps behind the path that I am on. Many of us experience imposter syndrome outside of YouTube. For example, at my traditional 9-to-5, it's still a very big topic. So I think it's something that we have to learn to get over, or at least live with. So at this point, it might be worth thinking, what is holding you back from starting a YouTube channel? And if you do start a YouTube channel, what is theoretically the worst thing that could happen? Have you observed this worst thing happen to other YouTubers? And how frequently does it happen? For those who it doesn't happen to, what have they done to shape their channel so that those things don't happen to them? I know that this is all kind of vague, but we might have different concerns or fears. So it might be worth taking a look at channels that cover the niche you're interested in starting a YouTube channel about. I think it's also worth thinking about who else with your similar background has started a YouTube channel and gotten to a place where you've been impressed at their growth and results. And if they can do it, why wouldn't you be able to do the same thing? Now that we've covered the fears that people have when starting YouTube, there's also a lot of common, more practical concerns that might stop people from starting a YouTube channel. Lack of equipment is a huge factor that many people think holds them back from starting a YouTube channel. You might think that you need expensive lights or camera or editing software to create your first video, but that really might not be the case. When I started from zero, I bought a few items. I bought my camera, which is the Sony ZV-E10. I bought a Samsung SSD T7 disc, and I bought memory card for my camera. I also bought a USB-C card reader, and I had a tripod. But for software, I had Canva Pro, I used iMovie, and I think that was pretty much it for just starting out and getting my videos out there. I personally bought a camera because I knew I wanted to take YouTube seriously, and if I didn't upgrade now, I knew that I would have to upgrade and spend the same amount of money in the future. So I figured I might as well reap the benefits now rather than later. Many people, though, start with their phone camera, which I think can take them quite far. My setup is still very far from perfect. It's quite plain and it's not as professional as you might see in other YouTube videos. I still use the camera microphone, though I am considering upgrading at some point. And I don't use any professional lights. Even within my last 5 videos, I just figured out some camera settings that would help make the video look a little bit more aesthetic in terms of the lighting. So that just goes to show that I am still learning and it's very much a work in progress. I think I have a lot to learn about aesthetics. Don't tell me to decorate anything. And I started from zero for video editing. So starting simple and learning to add on can really help build your skills and experiences like it has built mine. I know especially starting out, you might not feel like you have a lot of time because it takes so much time to learn how to effectively script, effectively film and edit, and even design thumbnails. But I think it's also worth noting that you don't necessarily have to stick to an upload schedule because this is your own channel and you can make of it what you want. I think as you get used to the process and you get familiar with all of the aspects of YouTube, it might be more helpful to upload on a consistent basis. But if we're just starting out, if you don't have the time to do everything on a weekly basis, you can maybe upload twice a month or maybe 3 times a month, and eventually ramp up to a more regular upload pattern. I personally post my videos once a week, maybe 2 very occasionally, but if you're not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Even with these common concerns I listed, and probably so many more that I didn't list, I think if we just take that action and start learning what we need to put out that first video, that might just be the catalyst to help us get going and consistently plug out videos one by one. Confidence in front of the camera is something I developed the more I put out my videos. It might help to practice in front of a mirror or practice sampling some recordings of yourself so you kind of get a feel of how you sound and how you look in front of the camera. Maybe you can ease into the YouTube process by focusing on providing value to your viewers. For me, I started by sharing what I knew, and eventually as I became more comfortable, I started talking a little bit more about myself and my interests and goals as well. I'm thinking about expanding my channel into vlogs. As practice, I filmed one vlog to see how it would feel talking with a camera on the street and to just understand what I might want to think about as I'm walking throughout my day and thinking about what I might want to film. As I was editing this vlog together, I realized the audio was pretty bad, the camera quality was a little bit shaky, so I think just having a practice run can help you iron out any kinks that you might have so that you know what to look out for. Everyone has something valuable to share, whether it's knowledge or entertainment. And if you wrap up that content with a little bit of flair of your own personality, this might resonate with someone who is looking for this specific content from someone who could present it with your style. So you never know who you might be helping if you start creating content. I think this plays into the authenticity aspect, because I think that viewers in general appreciate authenticity and honesty. I speak in part from personal experience because I am a viewer, but I find that I connect more with people who are willing to share about their struggles or hardships to get to where they are now. I try to talk to the camera like I talk to a friend. That's not always the easiest thing to do, given that I'm talking to a still thing on a tripod. But I think having that mindset is really helpful in terms of figuring out how to talk to the camera in a more natural way. And this is something that we probably get better over time as well. I think I still have a very long way to go, but just looking at the first few videos I put out versus now, and even feeling how I feel talking to the camera, I do feel a lot more natural, and I do think it looks more natural as well. When I started YouTube, I didn't know many other people who were on this path. It's really helpful to not go through this alone, so I think it's worth joining a community to share tips, to give feedback, and to just build accountability around your YouTube journey. I know this can be difficult to find, especially if none of your friends or people in your social circles are content creators. For me, I found a small community by taking a course and connecting with other people in the YouTube course. If you're willing to put in the investment, that could be worth it for you as well. But I've also seen YouTube creator communities on Facebook, so maybe you could take a look first to see if there are any YouTube creator communities in your area on Facebook. The value for these communities can be different for different people. For some people, it can be helpful to have that support and accountability in terms of making sure that they're uploading videos on a consistent basis and doing it it with other people at the same time. For me, these groups are really helpful in terms of crowdsourcing information on, say, how certain design styles are achieved. For example, the other day I was trying to figure out how to do a specific design for a thumbnail I was creating, and I messaged the group chat and someone told me to try the design on Figma. After playing around with Figma and asking them for more details, I finally got the effect I wanted, and I would have never been able to figure it out, or maybe I wouldn't have figured it out as quickly as I did without having this community of creators to tap into. So what is your goal for starting YouTube? I think about building a sustainable income stream. I also think about building and connecting with a community of people who have similar goals as mine. So every time I'm lacking motivation, I just think to myself, here are the reasons why I am putting my time and effort in now so that I have a chance at achieving everything I just mentioned. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And you might consider watching this video next, where I dive deeper into my personal motivations for why I started a YouTube channel.